As we all know very well, the Indian Railways is one of the many sources of pride for us Indians. It ranks as the world's fourth largest national railway system, boasting a track length of 104,647 kilometers and a route length of 68,426 kilometers with over 1.2 million employees, making it the world's 9th largest employer and India's 2nd largest employer. Operating an average of 13,523 trains daily, it serves 7,325 stations and transports a staggering 8.44 billion passengers and 1,418.1 million tons of goods across the country each day. In India's diverse landscape, Indian Railways is also vital, connecting and facilitating business infrastructure. The story of Indian Railways is one of steel tracks, steam engines, and the aspirations of a nation. But do you know when and how this journey began? Or do you even know when the first online ticket was purchased on the IRCTC website? For this journey, let me guide you through time, where each whistle blow resonates with the nation's progress. Hello and welcome to A Century of Stories, brought to you by IDFC First Bank. Always you first. I am your host, Kunal Vijayakar, and today's episode is about the incredible story of the Indian Railways. In the early 1800s, railways in India were just a dream. But in 1832, a bold proposal emerged to lay India's first railway line in Madras. Tracks were laid between Red Hills and Chintadripet in 1835 with a rotary steam engine transporting granite. By 1837, India saw its first operational railway track. But 1853 was the monumental year in Indian railway history, because that's when the first passenger train journey on broad gauge tracks began from Boribandar in Mumbai to Thane. The train was pulled by 3 robust steam locomotives named the Sahib, Sindh and the Sultan. The train proudly carried 400 passengers on a thrilling 34-kilometer adventure in 14 carriages. As the railway network expanded, so did engineering feats. Indian Railways took on the monumental task of constructing a track over the Bhorghat, creating the first railway bridge spanning Thane Creek, connecting Bombay with Pune. Spanning 2,000 feet in elevation and featuring tunnels and reverse viaducts, the track was painstakingly constructed over 9 years, albeit with great human cost. In the east of the country, the steam locomotive EIR-22, known as the Fairy Queen, changed rail travel in India. Imported for the East Indian Railway, it had a simple design and reached speeds of 40 kilometers an hour. Its first passenger journey from Howrah to Hooghly in 1854 marked a historic moment. In 1880, the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, later to be a World Heritage Site, began its journey. And in 1897, in the north, electric lighting was introduced in passenger coaches by the Jodhpur Railway, setting a brand new standard for comfort and safety. The Kalka-Shimla Railway, operating since 1903, gained World Heritage status finally in 2008. Indian Railways was on its way, but needed modernization. It was the year 1924 when history was made as India presented its very first railway budget, followed by the launch of the first electric train from Bombay to Kurla in the next year, 1925. Post-independence, the demand for the railways grew by leaps and bounds. The first locomotive manufacturing unit opened in Chittaranjan in 1950, and the first coach manufacturing unit was established in Madras in 1955. The crowning achievement for Indian Railways came later on in 1956 with the introduction of the first air-conditioned train between Howrah and New Delhi. Subsequently, in 1957, Indian Railways adopted 25 kV AC current traction technology, revolutionizing journeys with faster and more efficient WAM-1 locomotives leading the way. While the trains were advancing, booking of tickets and checking of train schedules was still a bit of a hit and a miss and a complete confusion. Fast forward to the present. You might at times wonder how efficient and user-friendly it's become to book tickets and check train schedules online via the busiest internet traffic-bearing IRCTC website. Established in 1999, IRCTC introduced the first online ticketing system, which went live in February 2000, marking a significant leap in the history of the Indian Railways. Today, the Indian Railways have steamed far ahead, especially with the launch of intercity Vande Bharat Express trains, the first indigenous semi-high-speed train introduced on February the 15th, 2019 on the New Delhi-Kanpur, Allahabad-Varanasi route. These trains offer premium passenger carriages with speeds up to 160 kilometers per hour. Representing a revolution in the Make in India model, they feature world-class amenities like intelligent braking systems, automatic doors, GPS-based audiovisual passenger information system, onboard hotspot, Wi-Fi, and bio-vacuum toilets. In conclusion, the story of Indian Railways is not merely a narrative of steel tracks and locomotives, but in fact is a saga of progress, innovation, and national pride. From its humble beginnings in the early 1800s to its evolution into one of the world's largest railway systems, Indian Railways has been instrumental in shaping the socio-economic landscape of the nation. And as we reflect on its rich history, we are reminded of the countless lives it has touched, the dreams it has realized, and the journey it continues to embark upon. You've been watching A Century of Stories brought to you by IDFC First Bank, always you first. I'm Kunal. And next week, I will see you and tell you the story about the humble beginnings of DD or Doordarshan.